A good example here is actually Ethereum itself. So Ethereum is currently centralizing on processing power in rollups. And people aren't talking about this from this viewpoint, but if you look at it, what's happening now is we're now encouraging rollups on Ethereum. Ethereum's new scaling roadmap has rollups, and then what rollups are is a bunch of transactions are going to be processed and executed off chain, and then a proof of them is going to be published on chain. And rollups are great because they have fraud proofs, or for ZK rollups, they have zero knowledge proofs. So you can feel very, very confident about the security of those transactions, even though they're being executed off chain, and that's where the processing is being done. So that's an example where we have a new technology, in this case, these rollups, and this technology is changing the balance of centralization and decentralization on the network for Ethereum. And the people at Ethereum have thought about this very carefully, and they're adjusting the system to see what needs to be published on chain and what doesn't, in order to keep those guarantees around security long term. So it changes. It changes based on people, on who's in the network, and then just on the technology itself.
Yeah, and you mentioned those like roll-up solutions. Now, are there going to be multiple versions, like multiple different roll-ups that are providing those proofs that then get recorded on chain, or is the Ethereum community pushing for maybe like one or two roll-ups? And this is an area that I'm not fully caught up on yet.
There's a couple right now, and I think there's going to be lots more. I just think right now there's only several, or maybe a dozen or so, different companies working on providing their rollups. But I don't see a limitation there being a lot of those competing in the space. But still, it's a lot more concentrated than if everyone's publishing their transaction, like every user is publishing their transaction directly on L1. That's very, very decentralized. But if you then aggregate 10,000 of those users together and put them on a single rollup that's doing all the centralized processing and publishing a proof, that's a little bit less. However, depending on the way the proofs work and fraud guarantees, so it's a balance, is what I'm trying to say. The systems are trying to balance security versus throughput, and that's just a choice that people make, because guess what? People want cheaper transactions, so that's part of the trade-off.
Yeah, especially as we scale, like not only cheaper transactions, but transactions per second's been, a strong conversation point. And so how you adjust the tech as we all progress in this crypto space, it's interesting how you see this conversation playing out really with one of the largest decentralized networks that we have in Ethereum.
You're listening to the Unstoppable Podcast, the go-to place for everyone to learn about the latest innovations in Web3, NFTs, and the decentralized web. Welcome to the metaverse.